Welcome back to another episode of Sip and Smoke Santino's. I'm your host, Billy Crow, recording here once again at the world-famous Santino Cigar Lounge in Imperial, Missouri. And once again, I am with Santino, the owner of this wonderful establishment, and Scott, one of our wonderful bartenders. Today, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be talking about pipe tobaccos, which is a favorite of mine. You know, I love cigars, but I also do love a good pipe tobacco. So today we're going to be digging into that a little bit. But before we do, as we always do, we want to talk about something special about Santino's because it has so many cool and special features. The thing we want to talk about today is, even though this is it is a environment where you smoke at, you also, Santino, you have a smoke-free environment in a wine room. Tell us a little bit about that.
We do, we do, and it is kind of unique. From what I've been told from world travelers and a little investigation, that we have the only smoke-free wine bar inside of a smoking lounge in the entire world.
Absolutely.
What that allows customers to do, and that was just due to feedback I received at my first location. In the first few years, people enjoyed it, but there were certain people that maybe had an allergic reaction to smoke or just can't be around it for various reasons. So they asked, if there was a non-smoking area where they could take all this great liquor or wine. And so when I designed this place, that was something I took into consideration so people can enjoy all the great libations we have, but maybe if they wanted to be isolated from the smoke, they can now. Mm-hmm. So that room functions very well for that. So we've tried to kind of accommodate everyone so we can include everyone. If you would like to participate in smoke, it's at your disposal. And if you just like to enjoy the great cocktails, wine selection, or liquor, it is available in a smoke-free environment as well.
Now, we talk a lot here about your whiskeys and your liquors because you have such a great selection. And eventually we're going to get into different, we have all these tastings. Eventually we'll get into tasting some of the wines. But give us an overview of the kind of wines that you have here.
Well, there is a wide array and selection. Maybe I'll start from the top and work down a little bit. We have everything from Opus, so your fine wine drinkers will know exactly what that is. We have Caymus, we have Duckhorn, but then we have very, very inexpensive, very affordable wines like Josh Cellars. Great inexpensive wine. We have wine by the glass, wine by the bottle. Mm-hmm. So, you don't have to commit to a full bottle of something. Yeah. Now there are certain selections, are only sold by the bottle. But we have a great selection of house wines and every price category and all the different nuances and special editions and, different varieties of wine.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of selections there for people that want to have a good celebration out there. Let's say it's a baptism or if maybe like a first communion or something and you want to celebrate. Sorry, it's a kid, but we have champagne in there as well. So there's a good champagne selection and the fridge in there as well. So if you want to celebrate.
Very good, very good. Well, like I said, today we're going to be moving on to some pipe tobaccos. But first, like usual, we start with our whiskey selection of the week. I'm pretty excited about this one, guys, because this is my absolute favorite whiskey. It's a Lagavulin 16-year-old Scotch, and I think it pairs really well with a lot of smoky things myself. We'll get into how these things pair up. But Scott, why don't you tell us, as the bartender, tell us a little bit about this Scotch that we have today.
So like you said, this is an Islay single malt Scotch, and it's heavily peated. So just like most Scotches have a lot of peat in them, just in general. This one's aged 16 years. It's got a lot of forward spice notes. It's got a little bit of that dried fruit whenever you kind of smell into it a little bit. If you guys want to pick up your glasses and kind of get that little nose smell in there, you'll pick up a little bit of that dried fruit flavor in there. Heavy oak, heavy peated, a lot of peat in there. You can kind of smell that grassiness.
And Billy, could you explain to the audience for some people that might not be familiar with peat and what we mean when we're throwing that word around?
So in Scotland, one of the practices, particularly on the island of Islay, when they are roasting the malts, peat is like it's almost like this like mossy charcoal like substance. Has a very particular smell. So when they roast the grains, they dry the grains out and roast them, it gives it a very unique character and flavor. And some folks, when it comes to scotches, they love the ones that almost tastes like you're eating ash, right? But the good ones that have a lot of peat don't taste like that. And what I really like about this one is it's very, like compared to a lot of other Islays, it's very herbally. It's very refreshing. Because a couple weeks ago we had the Balvenie, which is a type of Scotch, okay, but it's a Highland Scotch. It's not an Islay, so it's got a little bit different character. It's not as peaty. It's close. It tastes closer to like an Irish whiskey, even though it still is a Scotch, and you can taste that unique Scotchiness. But this, there is no doubt what this is. You open the bottle, you take the smell, you take the taste.
We ready? Okay.
And you're like, that is a dang good Scotch. And I just love it. It's so refreshing, rejuvenating. It is fantastic.
Yeah, that'll get you.
So what are some of the other notes you guys are picking up?
Leather. I got a big leather. And then as soon as I took that first drink, it was almost like the smokiness of the Lagavulin and the pipe tobacco. It almost mirrored itself and then brought forward like a baking spice note almost. I don't know if you guys got that at all, but there was a very spicy forward note on the tip of my tongue. And then at the very end of it, there was a touch of sweetness as well.
Yep, that's there for sure.
I am not much of a peaty kind of guy.
Sure, some people definitely aren't. Yeah.
However, this is the first time in quite a while I've noticed that either my palate is changing, but it's a little bit more acceptable to my palate, and it really does. Although I'm not a fan, and when I drink Scotch, I don't typically go to a peaty Scotch,
right?
Even though things like Ardbeg and Lagavulin are world famous, but they're world famous because of their peaty taste. So I'm actually kind of enjoying this better than I expected. I kind of had a preconceived notion that I just wasn't going to enjoy it altogether. It is different. I get the leather that you mentioned. I got dirt, earthiness, which is
that's the peat coming forward.
That is, I think, I've never been to the distillery in Scotland, but I would say that is probably their leading characteristic or the feature that kind of makes them
unique.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things is Lagavulin has a lot of different scotches. They've got like I think a 3-year, 8-year, 16-year. Then they've got different special blends and finishing barrels and stuff like that. But I think the 16-year, that is their flagship. When you want to know, I want to know what a good Islay Scotch tastes like, and I want to know what Lagavulin wants their Scotch to taste like. That 16-year there is it. It is the best representation in my mind of an Islay Scotch. And that's one of my favorite ones. And the good thing is, like, it's not super rare. Like some of these Islays that are super high in the peatiness range, they're very hard to come by. They're very expensive. This is a great priced, great whiskey.
I was just going to dovetail off of you. The great news for viewers is, we know over the past 5 to 10 years, bourbon has just, become the craze. And unfortunately, so many people have come to enjoy bourbon, but have so disappointed because they can't find it on a regular basis at their favorite store.
Right.
And so the advantage I feel with Scotch is it's still, folks, pretty readily available. It doesn't seem to be allocated like other spirits. So you're able to still find stuff like this, even at a 16-year age statement. The other thing that's surprising sometimes with Scotch like Lagavulin is it's at you can buy this at a decent price point, not only at your favorite liquor store, but when you come into an establishment like this, it isn't going to break the bank. Typically, when you hear of something aged 16 years, that says it's could be typically kind of pricey. A 16-year bourbon could easily put you into the 30, 40, 50, or even $100 pour for an age statement of such. So I found Lagavulin to be world class in body and taste, but at an affordable price and still readily available to everyone.
Absolutely. I also think that if somebody were to come into the establishment and say, "Hey, I want to try a good Scotch as my first off," I promise you, I probably wouldn't put them on this first. This is more of, I don't know if you guys would agree with me or not, but this is more for like your seasoned drinker, somebody that's actually knows their Scotches, knows what they're tasting like. It's very, very forward in its notes, especially in the leather and in the peat, like they were saying. So it's not something that I would start somebody off with in the Scotch section. I would maybe start them off with something a little bit not so strong, but that's just me. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah,
you think it's more for like somebody that's seasoned?
It's a nuance. I think, for people who like this is what they drink. They tend to not deviate if they like something peaty.
Right.
They might deviate for a short period of time, but this is their go-to.
I think so.
This may not be the greatest analogy for people, but it's kind of like IPA beer. There are certain people that like beer.
That actually is a good analogy.
IPA
I would say that
is
good.
a real specific kind of beer drinker. And when you get into peaty scotches like Ardbeg and Lagavulin, I think it fits that certain consumer that's
Absolutely.
looking for that.
That's a good comparison, actually.
Well, gentlemen, shall we move on to our pipe tobacco today?
Absolutely.
Can't wait. This is fun.
This is great. So, first off, there's many types of pipe tobaccos out there. And today we're going to be smoking this Peterson Mixture 965. And that can be purchased here at Santino's. And one of the things that I really enjoy up first is when you go to feel it. When you first open a tin of tobacco, depending on the kind, particularly like the flavored ones, a lot of them can be very wet, very goopy. Those are hard to light, hard to keep lit. One of the things and so with those, you have to like open them up, let them breathe a little bit, let them dry out a little bit. What I love about this one is I crack this open, it's ready to smoke.
Yes.
I don't have to let it air out. I don't let it have to breathe. It is ready to rock and roll.
And very easy to roll in the hands.
Yes.
Very easy to roll in the hands. I don't know if some of you guys like to roll it in your fingers, some like to roll it in their palms. Everybody has their own technique, but it rolls very well and packs very, very nice.
And Billy, I've gotten there's a lot of people that come in here and realize now we have pipes, pipe tobaccos, accessories, and they enjoy it. But a lot of people, and I think we should let the viewers know, we'll have a future episode coming up as, not a teaser, but, we're gonna have an episode where we're gonna, explain to people how to,
how to
prepare a pipe, how to pack,
how to smoke it. I mean, because it
exactly.
It's very unique, right?
Yeah.
Packing it, lighting it, the proper
It's
lighting
fun.
techniques. It's pretty.
But it's nice to know the proper technique so you get more enjoyment.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that'll be something we'll be featuring in a future episode. We're going to get down to the basics.
We'll talk about the retrohale and what that entails and how much you can really up your smoking game by just having just a little bit of that smoke trail out through your nose. Because a lot of people don't, I guess you might realize, but that's your olfactory setting right there. A lot of your flavor from your mouth actually comes from your nose. And so when you blow that smoke from your mouth and out through your nose when you retrohale, you take those flavors that are at like a 4 or a 5 and you bust them out to a 10. And, instead of that light cocoa, now you're getting that dark chocolate. You know what I'm saying? It elevates your smoking experience so much. So when you know how to smoke, when you know how to light, when you know how to do it with the proper techniques, you can really turn an $8 cigar into a $30 session.
So one of the things with Peterson's Mixture 965 is it is an English blend pipe tobacco. And the thing about English pipe tobaccos is they are very strong. Most people that are beginners, it's too much for them because of because of the different types of tobaccos, which we're going to get into. They have a very high nicotine content, very strong flavors.
You can tell that.
But as far as English blends go, this is a great beginner's English blend. It doesn't hit too hard. The certain particular strong English flavors are there. They're distinct, but they're not overpowering you.
Yes.
So Scott, if you don't mind, maybe kind of talking to someone about the different types of tobaccos that are in here and the unique flavors they bring in.
So I know this comes from an area of the Virginias here in the United States. This is where this tobacco, I think, originated from. Cyprian, Latvia, fire cured in Cyprus. really delicious. It also has Oriental tobacco from Turkey, and you can taste the Turkish tobacco in here. I know that's the first note that I hit whenever I first lit it up. Is that very forward Turkish, and then at the back end of it you get kind of that fire cured.
What does that Turkish taste like for you? So the viewers can understand.
Turkish is like, it's almost like a peppery cream to me. If I had to like put it into two notes, think of like peppercorn and cream, and like that is Turkish to me. And it always leaves it on the sides of my mouth. Like so a lot of pipe tobacco and a lot of cigars, you can always feel it on the tip of your tongue or the side of your tongue or on the back of your tongue. But with Turkish tobacco, for some reason, it coats your entire mouth from the roof to the sides. And that's how I know, like, okay, this is Turkish tobacco. And it has that signature, that peppercorn and cream.
And that is something that is a very unique thing to the English blends. Not a lot of other pipe tobaccos use it, but the English pipe tobaccos, that's their like signature, right? That and a touch of the Latakia, because at Latakia, how they process that is they fire cure it, they smoke it basically, smoking tobacco. And if you ever had a pipe tobacco that you're like, that smells like a campfire,
yes,
that's your Latakia every single time. So if that's something you like, if that's a flavor smell you like, I need something with the Latakia in it. Now, not all Englishes have Latakia in it, but it's pretty predominant there.
Yeah.
So, Billy, don't want to compare it to cigars.
Yeah.
But is this Peterson version that we're smoking today, would this be like a robust, more fuller body?
Yeah, this
smoke for this.
That's a great point.
Like would this be your morning pipe smoke or more your later evening?
So any English blend, right, is going to be more of the robust. If you compared it to cigars, it's going to be in the more robust range. This one is on the lighter end of that. This would be a nice all-day smoke.
Okay.
You know, when you get into Peterson, also bought out Dunhill a couple years ago, and there's a couple other ones called Morning Breakfast, which it's in English, but it's even lighter than this. Then they've got another one called Nightcap. And that better be the last thing you do, because good night.
And I believe
Good night.
They call it Nightcap for a reason.
For a very good reason.
everyone, both of those items, I believe, are in the pipe
They are,
humidor,
yeah.
so available for everyone.
Peterson pipe tobacco is my favorite pipe tobacco. They've got so many different varieties there. And just no matter what your taste is, they've got it there. And they do a great job with all their other pipe products as well.
Yeah. I will say this smoke definitely, it lingers in your mouth, to say the least. It's like he was saying, it's pretty strong, and so after just a couple of hits, you can just taste it. It's really nice, actually.
Now,
lots of wood forward notes.
Now, one of the things when it comes to pipe smoking versus a cigar smoking is your pipe itself. It's an accessory like your glasses or your watch. It says something about you, about a person, about you as a person, right? What you want to kind of give off of, like, this is the kind of man I am. Now, you have a pipe that they actually is for sale here at Santino's. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So tell us a little bit about this pipe, why you like it, why you picked it.
So this, first of all, green's my favorite color. It's my wife's favorite color as well. We're a green family. We love it. So obviously I'm drawn to green. Second off, this is the alligator, or they call it crocodile kind of pattern in it.
Oh yeah, that's a very nice
Very
texture.
nice. Yeah, so it's got a nice textured note to it. So it feels really good in my hand. I don't smoke a lot of pipe tobacco, so I didn't want a great big bowl. So I knew that I wanted something that was going to be small and that was going to fit in my hand and that I could carry everywhere with me. And so this is a Savinelli. It's kind of on the higher end of pipes. It's very nice. I don't use a filter. A lot of people use a filter, but I don't. I like just having the full smoke in my mouth. The mouthpiece itself I was really drawn to the mouthpiece as well. It's quite wide for how small it is, and it fit well in my mouth. So, and it packs a really deep bowl actually for how small it is.
Yeah.
So I really love it. It's one of my favorites.
Now, if they were to purchase it here, do you know the price on that?
I think this was $195.
Okay. Yep. So it's not necessarily your beginner pipe, but when you're wanting to make a good, lasting legacy investment that you're going to be smoking,
yes,
that's the kind of
this is going to last me years.
And they are pipes as you get into anything above a starter pipe or like a corncob pipe, they become heirloom pipes. Meaning they will last forever.
Yeah, if you
they
take
can
care
be
of them
passed on from generation as long as you don't break them.
Take care of it. Don't overheat it.
That's the beauty of a quality pipe, whether it's a Savinelli, a Peterson, or what have you. they will last forever. That's the beauty of it. Now, the fun thing is, guys, I mean, this is the fun thing. Pipe smokers, well, you're never going to have just one pipe.
Never.
Right? We love
Never.
it because it's just fun. Because some pipes will actually make the tobacco taste slightly, different depending on design, construction,
corn cob
bowl,
versus
different things. And that's the cool nuance of smoking in a pipe is I like the feel of how this sits in my mouth with the bent arm.
Right.
I forget what you call that. But but quality, you don't have to start out with a $200 pipe. That's the great thing. We have a lot of starter pipes and starter kits where you're not paying for 60 or 80 bucks. You can get a starter kit, which is a name brand pipe with all your basic items that you need to start your pipe tool and stuff like that. So you can get into this for a really reasonable amount and enjoy it. And then it just builds and compounds from there, and it gets fun. You're going to collect pipe tobacco. You're going to collect more than one pipe, and you'll smoke a pipe for a different occasion.
That's right.
Sitting, it just gets to be very fun.
I've also gotten into the habit where sometimes I'll even mix blends. I'll buy a couple different tins in there, and I'll say, oh, I like this one, and I like this one. I wonder what they'll taste like together. And I put them together, and I pack them in a pipe, and it tastes phenomenal.
Yep. Now, those are all fine details. We're going to have some great spin-off videos about. I'm pretty excited about that. We talked a little bit about it today, but the pairing up of the Lagavulin with this Peterson Mixture 965, how do we feel about it, guys?
Oh, it's really good. Like I was saying earlier, when I first tasted it, it was that baking spice forward that really brought out a lot of the good flavors in the Lagavulin. The smokiness of the Peterson. Smokiness of the Lagavulin, and the smokiness of the tobacco really marry each other very well. Especially the Turkish forward of it. It all tastes really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. I think, to me, a good peaty Scotch with an English blend tobacco is it's a match made in heaven.
It really is.
Everybody gets very upset about the British Empire, but you know what? Like, they brought us beautiful things like this English pipe tobacco and Lagavulin paired together in a way that no other empire.
But not their tea.
Not their tea. Not their tea. So, the empire did something right. Anyways, guys, this has been a very fun episode. Very, very informative. Good pipe tobacco. Good Scotch. Let's talk about this week's special. We've been talking about if people pair this stuff up, they get 20% off for the week this video is up. So are we saying a pour of Lagavulin 16 and a tin of Peterson's Mixture 965?
We're going to do the 20% off both items.
Yes.
Fantastic. When purchased together.
That is correct.
That's right. So anything else to leave the folks with before we sign off?
For me, once again, I'm going to recap. I was a little apprehensive with this selection, knowing my palate.
Yeah.
And I was surprised, both being so full-bodied and robust. You gave a good analogy. The marriage of the two, Scott. I'm pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed it.
Yes.
And we're going to have some dissent on the panel. Yeah. We're not always going to agree. This show isn't designed, folks. We want to give some real feedback,
honest
feedback. And so this was a pleasant surprise, even for me.
You may not like this setup, right? So this might not be someone's palate, but at the end of the day, after having this, if you don't want to go buy a tweed jacket, I don't even know who you are.
That's so true. I feel sophisticated after this. That's for sure.
That's what the Santinos provides, that free culture of the cool thing about men and women who smoke pipes or cigars is it's fun, right? You see some really eclectic people. Yeah. You see some eclectic clothing. It's a fun thing, right?
Well, friends, thanks for traveling with us on another edition of Sip and Smoke Santinos. Can't wait to see you back at the next one.
Take care, guys.